in my view, C1 is probably the most effective in the industry. And if you look at the great cars that were derived from that program, obviously Jay's already talked about the Mazda 3, very successful at Mazda. It's easiest for me to talk about CX-7 and CX-9 first, and then I can talk about CX-9 and the Edge and the Lincoln kind of second. But let me just go through really and talk to you about the things that are the same and the things that are different. A lot of people jump to the conclusion that the CX-7 and the Edge, because they're both medium crossover SUVs, are cousins or brothers. That's not the case. The CX-7 was developed before the Edge. The CX-7 shares much more of its architecture, particularly from the firewall back, with the Mazda 5. And if you just get down and look at some of the suspension components and the rear suspension and the geometry, you can figure that out. From the firewall forward, it really carries over from the current Mazda 6, the 2.3-liter Fizzy turbo engine. Basically, the engine box from the CX-7 is shared with the 4-cylinder Mazda 6. So you kind of see that hybrid ability to take two architectures and combine them, and we delivered the CX-7 from that. CX-7 is very unique to Mazda. The Edge is not related in any major component. Now the CX-9 and the Edge, and also the Mazda MPV in Japan, which we no longer sell here in the U.S., are much more closer related, and they do share a common architecture. That architecture is derived from the Mazda 6 architecture. So when we talk about that, it's basically, again, the engine box, the main structure of the suspension, and the pickup points and so forth are carried across from the Edge, the CX-9, and the Mazda MPV in Japan.
And did I hear you just say that they build the car in Japan, but the powertrain comes from Lingo, Ohio?
Correct.
Which means they're sending engine packages back to Japan?
Yeah, we've done that for years and years. That actually started with a 2.5-liter V6 motor on the MPV in 1980, no, it would have been 94.
Yeah.
So that plant's been our source of V6 transmissions for quite a long time.
Oh, just the transmission or the engine?
Or I'm sorry, the engine.
And the reason you do that is simply because that power plant shared among a bunch of different Ford products?
Yeah, in the Ford family, the Mazda 4-cylinder, the MZR class engines, is the mid-class engine for everything. We use Ford's Center of Excellence for V6 engines for our powertrains, and they're sourced in Ohio and sent to Japan. Been like that since the 2.5 and the 94 MPV. Then we went to 3-liter, and the 3-liter also comes over to Japan for the Tribute, which is not built in Japan anymore now, which I think is built in the Philippines. Same thing. So those engine families have progressed as our 4-cylinder engine families have progressed. Yeah, that kind of surprises everybody. I don't understand. You know, it's been, I don't know, in my book, a long time since we've been doing that a while. So
I'm a little more surprised by the transmission. If you're bringing the engines over, why not the transmissions?
Well, we have the transmission already basically ready to go for the